there throughout this area, certainly under the gun. As it makes its way on shore, we obviously have a huge surf, crashing waves, winds, which are going to cause a lot of destruction. So that obviously means we're going to prolong the event in these areas and the rainfall. So on top of all the wind damage and the storm surge that they'll be seeing along the coast, you have to add on tremendous amounts of rain.
Man, that was crazy. It was like the sun was shining 20 minutes ago, and all of a sudden we get the downpour, weather shift just like that.
Yeah. It's crazy how quick it can be. Nice, beautiful waterfront day, and before you know it, it's storming.
Storming, man.
Storming.
But we saw the clouds coming, though. We saw the clouds coming, so we had a little hint. You know what I'm saying? That it was on the way.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't want to preach, but that's similar to the to the church we in. You know, I could deal with a few things, and but I don't know if we see the clouds coming in the church the same way we can say it the weather.
Yeah. I think sometimes they sneak up on us, or better yet, I think we ignore the signs. We'll ignore the signs until we get in panic mode. When we get in panic mode,
now you preaching.
We're
good.
distressed.
You preaching.
And now we feel like we're drowning and won't got no way out. So my whole thing is, you know, it would be good if we could be proactive about empowering the people around us, not just ourselves, but creating that relationship and that fellowship to be proactive.
That's my heartbeat. So that's actually what I care about the most when it comes to ministry, man. I think it's just too many ministries, too many pastors, too many good leaders. Honestly, man, I think it's just what you said. I think they see the clouds coming. I know that they think the storm's coming, and it's painful because we're stuck trying to lead and preach people to the joy of the Lord. But the truth of the matter is, without good pastors, good leaders, seeing the clouds and talking about it, and saying, "Hey, listen, this generation is in a storm, and we got to talk about it.
We got to talk
and our
about
church is going to be affected by it."
Right.
And so,
because ignoring the storm doesn't make it go away.
It doesn't go away.
It doesn't make it go away.
And when the church service is over with, we still know it's clouds out here.
This is clouds.
So sitting around waiting on the storm is crazy.
And we got to be in a position where we have tangible principles and resources that we can utilize to be able to weather that storm. Because the storm is there, right? That's part of the process, though. That's part of the testimony.
You preaching,
you know what I'm saying?
Good.
But we got to make sure that we position ourselves to have those resources that's necessary. So when that time comes, we ready to deal with it.
That's my goal. My goal is right here in Norfolk is to bring pastors and leaders together, so that we can, the Bible says iron sharpen iron. And so there's no sense of us just all sitting around shouting Jesus, looking at the clouds.
Right.
And we're not sharpening the things that says, hey, prepare for that storm, prepare for the ministry to come. You know, we got children, man. I got a daughter. You got children, and we're not preparing the church for them. But yet still we saying, look at the clouds around our church. Look at the clouds around, you know, this. And so I'm challenged, man. I'm challenged to do it. I believe that if we could come together as leaders and men and women of God, that I don't believe there's no storm. You know, I want to preach, but I don't believe there's no storm that God can't come.
I don't believe there's no storm, like you said, that we don't have the victory over already. With every temptation, it's a way to escape, so that we'll be able to bear it. I believe that He's given us what we need. We just have to recognize it in one another.
Right.
So when you hollered at me and told me what you wanted to do here, like off rip, I'm super excited because what I see is an opportunity for fellowship. I see an opportunity for growth. I see an opportunity for believers to come together and be what God ordained and anointed us to be initially, and that is the body, right? So you down in Tampa, and you serving, you in the ministry, and the people under you are serving, and they're in the ministry, and that's a part of the body. And we up in Portsmouth, and we serving, and that's a part of the body. But if we don't ever come together, you know what I'm saying?
Something happens.
Something happens when we come together, man. You know what I mean?
I'm from this, so I believe without a shadow of a doubt that if we could just get the people of God, the leaders, in the room that something happens similar to that day of Pentecost.
Right.
That if spiritual minds come together with one purpose in mind that says, hey, we all recognize the clouds, but at this point of our life, we're not just gonna let the storm hit us. We're gonna prepare for the storm. We're gonna wake Jesus up and say, hey, guess what? Hey, Jesus, there's a storm going on, and we need you to do what you do and calm it down. And that can only happen when we come together. And I believe that's
the powerful part. That's the powerful part. And I think
I'm anticipating.
It's something intentional to be said about coming together, right? Because on some level, it may be a sacrifice to get here.
Right.
But in my heart, I just screaming, it's worth it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Every storm.
It's worth it.
Every storm.
If you can get to the place of empowerment, it's absolutely worth it to do everything you can to try to get there. So when you told me that your heart was for pastors, right, and for people who wanted to empower their leadership, you know, by bringing them together with other leaders who deal with similar issues, and to be able to really address these issues from a core place, not surface stuff, but we're going in depth. Depth in this thing, and from a core place, man. Like, I know that the people that I work alongside of building ministry, they need that, you know, and I would assume that everybody's leadership needs that. So it's not just for pastors, right?
Not just for pastors.
It's for their leadership.
For their leaders as well. And what we're going to do is similar to what we just started this whole conversation with. We all notice the weather, but everybody knows there's some specific things you need when the storm's coming. So we're not just going to talk about it in service and say God's good all the time and all the time God's good. No, specifically, if a storm is coming, do we have the supplies that we need that ultimately is going to help us with the storm? And the truth of the matter is, if we come together, there's a great chance that with Christ on our team, there is no storm. There is no storm. And it may affect other ministries, but it don't have to affect ours. And I believe it, man. I'm excited for it.
So I'm excited, man.
I'm grateful. July 26th and the 27th.
And the 27th. 26 and 27 will be in Portsmouth, Virginia. I'm super excited. Portsmouth, Virginia. I'm super excited. C4C is partnering with Spirit of Truth Fellowship. And Pastor Dozier is coming all the way from Tampa.
All the way from Tampa, man.
And we got other folks coming from all
everywhere.
All over
other
the
people
place.
from Florida. We got Port Charlotte, Sebring, Florida. A lot of other pastors coming, and I think it's gonna be great, man. I just ask that we continue, man, to pray through the storm, so that ultimately, man, that God can bless it. And you're right. It may be a little bit of a press, but it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it. That's the risk that comes, not the risk. That's the what's the word I want to use? That's the process. That's the part of us coming. Investment of coming together. And I believe it's worth it. I believe we're investing in a lot of stuff. We go check some of these hair salons and Popeyes. We cut back on a few investments and put it in. I love it. Spirit and truth, man. I believe we got to operate in that. That's why we call it spirit and truth. We can't just keep continuing to look at everything spiritually and then go back home on Monday and face truth.
It has to be a practical side.
Got to be a practical side. Spirit and truth.
And as leaders, we're given the task of empowering leaders. So we don't make followers, we make leaders. And so this is our opportunity to do just that.
July 26, 27.
July 26,
we're calling
27.
all pastors, all leaders, anybody that's saved and can see the clouds.
See the clouds coming
and believe in God that we still got somebody on our ship that can calm the clouds down. But we don't come together and talk about it. Somewhere in the text, I'm not going to stretch the text too much, but somewhere in the text, when the Bible says, when the disciples saw the disciples together, they had to have a meeting on saying, who going to wake them up?
Who going to wake them up? Who going to wake them up?
They had to come together to do that.
Who going to wake them up?
It doesn't tell me who specifically. It says they found Jesus in the back of the slip and they woke him up.
Yeah, they woke him up. That's
all we want to do. July 26, 27.
That's the goal.
Let's wake it up. Wake up every pastor and leader.
We're going to wake it up. Pastors, leaders, we're going to wake them up, and we're going to be intentional. We're going to be intentional about answering the questions that need to be answered. Because so often we engage in things and we leave and we're inspired, but we're not always equipped, And so this is an opportunity to match inspiration with the equipping of the body and the equipping of the leadership.
Inspiration
and instruction. Man, I'm excited about it.
So, me too.
So Pastor Dozier, the place, Tampa, coming all the way down to Portsmouth, Virginia, chosen for Completion Ministries, C4C, 39 Afton Parkway, July 26th and 27th. Spirit and Truth Conference. God is about to do amazing things. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss it. If you do, we're going to brag about the fact that you weren't there. It's going to hurt. You'll be at the next one.
And don't be mad.
Don't be mad.
Don't be mad because the storm passed us by.
We tried.
It's time to get ready.
You got to wake up. You got to wake up. Peace.